I heard someone talk about some fucking prime minister in Europe, or someone said that like you should outlaw pineapple on pizza, and
What?
I just you know
No, but
the
don't.
death penalty. Do they have the death penalty or what? That's all I'm trying to
Are
say.
you trying to defend the pineapple on pizza, or are you trying to?
Of course,
Oh,
pineapple
okay.
and black olive is the pizza to have.
What was it? Rachel that introduced you to the olive thing? Like,
No, I've
have
always
you always
loved
had that? All right, I can't remember.
black olive. Yeah,
Right,
black
right.
olives on pizza is the way to go.
Yeah, she's obsessed with them. Like my wife, she's absolutely obsessed with them. I don't get
She's
it.
not. Oh yeah, she is your wife.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 34 of Podcast Reload. It's the general gaming podcast by Sifted.net subscribers, where we invite community guests onto the show to talk about the games industry in all its weird ways. I am your host, Vin Hill, and joining me, as always, is, of course, my co-host and the sole Japan dweller, Evan Piotrowski.
Hello, everyone.
And this week we don't have a community guest because we're terrible at communicating with people, and we didn't organise anything because we're silly people. But it should be good.
This is true. We are still. Vin and I have been in the same time zone for the stretch of Podcast Reload, and since he's moved to the United States, we're just trying to figure out some timing stuff. So
Mostly
bear
me.
with us.
Mostly
Well,
me.
I
to be
mean,
fair.
you are preparing. You are getting ready to be wed.
Yeah. Organising weddings, sorting visas out, new jobs, loads of projects happening as well. Yeah, life is crazy right now, but squeezing through, and we've got a podcast with it being.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be bumpy, I'm sure, for the next couple months or so, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and you'll get what you're given because it's free anyway. So shut up, basically. So it's all good. Community updates. Have we got any corrections or anything like that? I don't think we have we?
No, I don't think so.
No. Sorry for last week. Yeah, we are again crazy busy, so all over the place. But we're here now. So, Evan, we're not going to play Save or Kill this week, obviously, because we've done it to each other before. I think it was like before Christmas we did it, right? And we ransacked each other's collection.
It was pretty brutal.
It was pretty brutal.
10 minutes long.
Yeah, it was pretty savage. I mean, you killed off Eco, and I got. Did you kill off Eco? I can't remember.
No, I think that was. I think you're mixing that with what Keith, aka Mick Womble. He decided to try to kill what we love and hold dearest to us.
Although I did get rid of the TurboGrafx 16. Like
that's true.
I fulfilled my little mission, so that's all that really matters. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you and Dyson XP,
Yeah.
the only two people in the world that care. But,
so good. So with that, what have you been playing, man? What have you been playing over the last couple of weeks?
I've actually been playing a brand new game.
Have you actually? Is this a joke or? I know it's an ongoing joke on our podcast, so.
Little new game called Yakuza 6, and it's really good.
Shit, man, that's more than new. That's a year into the future for most people listening to this.
Yeah, so basically, Vin, like, since getting my PS4 Pro, I only play games from the future or brand new games. So I'm playing Persona 5, I'm playing Yakuza 6. Zelda's coming out this week. That's new, thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't even touch the fucking thing. So
That's hilarious.
I beat Yakuza 6, and I was looking at my trophy count. I'm at like 82%, and I started looking at the trophies I could get out of it.
What are you doing to yourself?
So basically,
I already know where this is going. I already know.
This game is PP. It's platinum potential. It's got like it's possible. Fuck, I fucked it up. It's PPP. Platinum potential possible. Platinum possible. It's got potential, and it's definitely possible. So I kind of shaved off a couple things, like I got the Seoul all stray cat cafe in all of Tokyo.
Of course, like that's top of the list, right? That's
I brought up all the girls from the Hostess Club up to being a number one cast, which means that they're like the number one money makers. They make the most money. Did that. I got all my stats up to 300, which is perfect. That's as high as you can get. So like when I punch someone, they pretty much die now. It's nice. Uh, One of the main trophies left is legendary, and the only way I'm going to tackle that trophy is if I can carry my stats over. If I cannot and I have to start from zero, it's just going to be too frustrating because that game is really fucking cheap at the harder difficulty levels.
Right.
But aside from Yakuza 6, I've actually been playing Yakuza 0. So,
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, welcome to a podcast Yakuza, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure Mick Wample will be happy.
Right.
So, like, everyone's talked about this game. I'm glad that it got as much coverage as it did, which I was pretty... like, were you surprised by how much coverage this game got in January?
Not at all, because
Really?
of the number that was attached to it. You see Yakuza 3, you see Yakuza 4, you see Yakuza 5, Yakuza, like, no one's going to pick it up because no one's played the previous games. And I think a lot of people are like me in the respect, like, yeah, I don't really want to play, like, the fourth one in the series or the fifth one in the series, like, if I have no clue what's going on. But the second that I heard that this was going to be called Yakuza 0 is, like, it's from the beginning. You can start fresh, all the stories laid out for you so you can understand it. Loads of people are going to jump in, especially because, like you saying, everyone was hyped over like Shenmue and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, this is a perfect game for them if it's starting from scratch. So, yeah,
Right.
I could totally see this one doing better than way more potential now. I'll be curious to see how 6 does when that eventually does come around to the West.
Yeah, that is the thing.
You're jumping from 0 to fucking 6, and it's like, that's a bit jarring, you know. Are the other Yakuza games like localized and stuff? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know the deal about that. So,
Yeah, I seriously do wonder. I wonder how much this is going to snowball because Kiwami, which is a remake of Yakuza 1, is coming out
there you go.
in the States in a couple months, and then Yakuza 6. The thing about Yakuza 4 and 5 is that the story was spread across a handful of people. So, like, you would jump from chapter to chapter playing different people and following different storylines. Same thing in 5. You're jumping around. But with 6, it's totally all you play is Kiryu. That's the only person that you play as. So I'm wondering if you jump from 0 to Kiwami, which is the first one, and then to 6, you're pretty much following the Kiryu storyline where you're solely playing as him. You haven't branched off into all these other people. So I guess you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
The story arc of the entire series might not be as impactful as it would be if you have played all those games. Given I've only played 4, 5, and 6. By the time I got to 6, I had only played 4 and 5. But that was totally enough for me to be full well into the series, in terms of the characters and being interested in knowing the backstories and all that stuff. But in terms of Yakuza 0, it's a bit rough going back to that game after playing 6.
It's a remaster, right? So it's super old. Or?
Well, actually, 0 is not a remaster. It's a game that was made for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, and it's not in the new engine that's in Yakuza 6. But the best thing I like about it is it takes place in 1988, so it's at the tail end of the bubble in Japan.
Oh, right, before the economic bubble burst.
Yeah. Before the bubble burst, as they say.
The lost decade.
The lost decade, yeah.
That's literally what they call it.
A time when Japan as a country had such an economic boon, and even the most average salaryman was rolling in so much money that people were literally hailing cabs with what the equivalent of a $100 bill was. And so the interesting thing about the game is that everything is tied to money, where the older games, you had an XP bar, and once you filled out the XP bar by fighting and doing side quests and all this stuff, you get an ability point, and you're able to put ability points into things like gaining more health, or learning a new move, or upping your attack or defense, that type of thing. Well, in Yakuza 0, everything is tied to money. So when you beat up punks in Yakuza and stuff, as you're punching them, every time you punch them, money literally flies out of their pockets.
It's like GTA.
And flies about the screen. And the way that in this game, there are no ability points. The way that you upgrade everything, and there's 3 fighting styles for the 2 main characters, and there's an extra fighting style you can unlock. But the way you upgrade everything is through spending money. And obviously, the further you get in the game, the higher the price is to pay for your new skills. So I kind of like it's a bit of a wink to a decade that Japan was like figuratively rolling in money. So they make it like a main point of the game is where like you progress by spending money.
That's interesting.
So I like that they.
I mean, I always
really
like
cool.
like walking around Japan and stuff when I lived there. Obviously, they just sometimes because Japan feels like it's frozen in like the early 90s sometimes, like depending on what area you go to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the place, it feels like it's stuck in the 90s, like even like the way people think and stuff like that. And I every time I like hit that thought, I always wonder like, oh, what would it actually be like, back then, like while all this stuff was still new, like how awesome would that be? So yeah, I am super curious actually about Zero. I do really, really want to play it, but just too much of my play right now.
I would say, yeah, if you ever get around to it, I would say it's totally worth it. Just do not play Yakuza. Why would you play Yakuza 6 if you've never played any other games? But
I will not.
It's a bit hard to go back to, but I've played it long. Like I'm like 3/4 of the way through the game.
Yeah.
So I've played it for long enough to where I forgot about Yakuza 6 and I'm just playing it as is. It's a good game in a line of really, really fun games. And I just can't wait till people play 6 and a year from now. And that's not me trying to say like I played Yakuza 6. I'm just really excited for people to be excited about this game. Although I have to wait a year to hear everyone talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just really curious why Sega haven't done the smarter thing, really. I mean, just instead of localizing 6, I know this is like a lot of people are going to be like, what? Why would they do that? Because it's a new game. But something tells me if you're bringing out 0 and then 1, like wouldn't the natural thing to be doing would just be like, okay, localize 2, localize 3, localize 4, localize 5, and then bring out 6. Even if it's like 3 years from now or whatever, like, and it comes out, at least it's in order. Wouldn't you make more money off that? Like, bringing them all out in order rather than bringing out
all
one.
those other games were localized.
Oh wait, shit, yeah, they were, weren't they? Or like putting remasters out on the PS4, like on the modern console is what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. It seems like all these games came out, and then all of a sudden you're putting out 1-0, and then 6 is the next game. It doesn't seem like
that's the part that's like sort of.
It's
maybe they will.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come out. Maybe Sega will be there at E3 or Tokyo Game Show. But by the way, like Yakuza 2, 3, and 4 are out on the PS4 this week or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, if any of that stuff happens, it would happen later because I seriously doubt they thought that 0 was going to do as well. Actually, I don't even know the numbers for the game, but at least I don't think they thought that the game was going to have as much buzz about it as it did.
People are talking
January.
about it, man.
I don't know.
That's all that matters.
I don't know how much of that translated into sales, but I don't know. Maybe that's a positive thing to come. Maybe this does snowball into Kiwami and 6 later this year.
Well, I hope so.
And early next year. Who knows?
From what you've said about it, it sounds like it's a cool series. So,
No, it's awesome. I'm having a really good time. My goal is to finish the game before this Friday because Breath of the Wild's coming out, and I will be picking that up after work on Friday.
Sweet.
But Vin, what have you been playing?
The last couple of weeks, I haven't been playing too much, but I've been playing a bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider. I finally pulled the trigger and got that on a sale a couple of weeks ago for it's like $25 or something. It was pretty.
When did you recently beat the 2013 reboot?
No, not recently. Like I beat it
years ago.
I beat it when it first came out, pretty much. I think so.
Okay, so like 3 years ago.
Yeah. So it was sort of lost on me, but yeah, like Rise of the Tomb Raider. From what I remember, like the first Tomb Raider game, I loved it. It was great. Like I thought it was. A lot of people sort of stuck up their nose at it, say, "Oh, it's a bit too much like Uncharted or whatever." But no, it's more Uncharted is the better, Like we need more action adventure games like that, and the fact that they included the bow into the game, and the bow is really well utilized in the first Tomb Raider game, and it's the same for the second one as well. Rise of the Tomb Raider is actually pretty great, but it's kind of weird. Like we've sort of done a flip side on this because, like, obviously I've been trolling you for like the past year or something about like how you're always playing fucking old games, and here I am playing a fucking year-old game, and you're playing a game that isn't coming out for another year in the West. So it's sort of
like I told you, I've moved on. I've moved on from
new year, new Evan.
Now I only play games in the future. No, actually, I mean, on your side, to be fair, the game came out as a timed release.
Yeah, that's
for the
that's
Xbox,
the
and then came out last year, so you're only playing it like a month or so, a couple months.
Yeah, but
since it got released,
I'm glad I did though, because I sort of predicted it when it was first announced for the Xbox as an exclusive. I thought, no, that'll be great when it comes out on the PS4 a year later. It's going to have all the DLC packs rolled in there. It'll probably drop in price pretty quick. And I was totally right. Like, within 2 months, like, the game's down to $25, and it's a pretty good fucking game. Like, it could have came out like a month ago, and it still holds up. The game looks great. It feels probably a bit more like Uncharted than the last one. I know it's a stupid comparison, but it's got to be done.
In what way does it feel more like Uncharted?
It feels a lot more cinematic. The areas are a lot more well designed. They feel like structured sections now. It's not as jarring from one place to the other sort of thing like the first one was. Almost.
Okay, like it was like an open world, but each one felt like a level. Like this is level 1, this is level 2.
Like this one feels a bit more connected in that respect. You know? So it's a lot better in that respect, but the only real problem that I've had with the game, like, it holds my hand like a motherfucker. Like, just let me go, dude. Like, let me play the game. Like, it just keeps giving me hints. Like, Lara keeps talking to herself, like, oh, maybe I should climb up there and do that. And it's like, oh, shut up. Like, let me figure it out, man. Like, there's so much of that stuff in there, it's ridiculous. And if you just hit, like, L3, it goes into, like, the typical, like, the Batman sort of inspector mode or whatever, and it just fucking it highlights everything on the map that you can, like, where you need to go, like the objective and stuff. And it's like, why is that there? Like, isn't the whole point action adventure? Like, the word adventure is in the title of this genre for a reason, man. So, like,
as nice and cool as, like, the Batman vision was back in the day, I think it might have ultimately hurt games.
Oh yeah.
Even like Assassin's Creed as well, to where, like, if they feel that their level design is not pulling you in the direction that they should be doing naturally through level design itself, they're like, oh, okay, we'll just put in the fucking highlight mode and have them figure it out that way. It's a
piss poor, lazy games design mechanic.
A lot of people do it now.
I
almost every game has it now.
I hate it. I really despise it. It's like, why are you doing? Like, if you can't design a level to intuitively, like, direct your player where to go, then you're bad at games design. I'm sorry, but
back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Right, like, start again, dude. Hire a better fucking level designer. I don't know, like, figure it out. Like, don't glow the map gold. It's like, oh, it's over here. It's like, yeah, thanks. Like, no way. But yeah, I mean,
it's interesting. That might be a topic for another episode. But yeah, that is something in
that is the
modern game design that kind of grinds my gears a little bit.
Yeah, that is one of the major problems on Tomb Raider. But outside of that, man, the combat's tight. It's nice to have all the extra bits in there for the PS4 version, which obviously you can still get on the Xbox version as well. But you might have had to shell out a bit more money for it all. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not going to go too deep into it and on my thoughts on it. But so far, the story is pretty generic Tomb Raider. It's Lara chasing her father's legacy sort of thing, and she's like trying to find the best tomb or whatever. And,
yeah, that's what they should have called it, the best tomb,
the best one. And but yeah, like, in regards to the tombs, though, I was a bit worried that there wasn't going to be enough of tombs and stuff, like, because that was my major issue, which I had with the first one. It just wasn't enough, like, tombs in the game, which is sort of ironic.
I think a lot of people had that complaint, including myself.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the 2013 reboot, I absolutely love that game. I 100%ed it in game, but for some weird reason, 100% wasn't enough to get the platinum because you need all this multiplayer bullshit.
That, yeah.
But no, I love that game. I'm really looking forward to playing this. But
yeah.
So how are the tombs so far for you?
It's like, even though there's probably about the same amount of the tombs, like, it's the same issue. It's interesting because to actually find the tombs is a puzzle within itself, if that makes sense. So
okay, are there, like, hints spread out through the world? Like,
yeah,
this might
like,
lead
you
to
open up the mini map. It's like, there's a tomb right here, dude. You have to go and find it. It's like, oh fuck, all right. So it's, of course, like, it holds your hand, like, way too much. But even though it registers on the map, like, it's sometimes quite difficult to access them. It's like, how the hell do I, like, you'll just go to a spot, it's like, it's underground. It's like, all right, there's a cave nearby. You go into the cave, it's like, all right, it's not that way. And then you come back out and you're looking at the floor, you're like, fuck, all right, how the hell do you get into this thing? So like that in itself is a puzzle, and then you actually get into the tomb, and then the tomb's got a puzzle itself. But even then, like the hints are a bit too much, you know. Like I really, I wish I could turn them off almost. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the game. It's not as polished as Uncharted, I would say, but it's still pretty enjoyable. Definitely worth the $20 to $30 that it is. It's on sale right now, actually. It's on the PlayStation Critics sale, I think. So
I almost hit that button. Like, for $30, this game is definitely worth it.
It's definitely a $30 game, I would say. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Other than that, I just booted up Wind Waker the other day. I've been playing that, actually, so... yeah, I'm going to be playing that. Everyone else is going to be playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm going to be playing Wind Waker because it's still classic. Yeah. That's it.
Oh god, I don't even know if I can be friends with you anymore. It's like, like I'm playing.
I'm going worse than you.
I don't know. The newest games. Like I've moved on since my time playing 2012 Prince of Persia and 2016. All right, I've evolved as a human being.
Good times.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm done with that shtick. As a fucking cares. No, Wind Waker is totally a great game to go back to, and I think you were even playing like 60 FPS and all this awesome stuff, right?
Yeah, I've been playing on my Nvidia Shield. I mean, I own the game like 5 times or something ridiculous. Like I've got physical copies on the GameCube, but yeah, like I boot up on the Nvidia Shield. The Dolphin emulator team have been really working on that Android. Based emulator for the Shield, and it's running beautifully. Like you can get that game up to 60 FPS on 1080p. Like you can even push 4K sometimes, but it lags a little bit. But yeah, man, game still holds up, still looks beautiful. I think that's a lot to do with the aesthetic, you know, behind the artwork. But yeah, for a while, like for the first 20 minutes, I was walking around trying to jump, but then I remember that you don't jump in fucking Zelda games. Which
you don't jump. There's no jumping in Zelda. Right? There's no crying in baseball.
So, yeah, other than that, I mean, rolling off cliffs, because that's pretty much... you can jump unless... you have to be on a ledge to jump, sort of thing, in Zelda.
And then you hit that 45-degree angle when you meant to go straight, and you're like, why can't he fucking jump, goddammit? I'm looking forward to, like, he can... Link... Like, I've talked about this before on the podcast, like, Link can finally fucking jump. I almost can't imagine how that actually is. Like,
it's gonna be weird.
I cannot wait to play.
It's gonna be weird.
Like, I'm gonna boot up Breath of the Wild and like press the B button and jump. I'm like, all right, and like shut it off. Like, I'm done. I know how it feels to jump as Link. I don't need to play any of this fucking game. All right. Yeah. What's topic 1? What are we doing?
Yeah, moving on. Let's
on.
jump into our first topic. So, Evan, do you want to kick us off?
All right, so I was thinking about this topic because I recently talked with my brother who lives in the States. I live in Japan. It sucks, but at one point, years and years ago, we lived in Chicago at the same time. We're both from Wisconsin, but we actually lived in Chicago. We both worked in Chicago, and we ended up... I ended up going to his house a lot, and we hung out and played video games, like a ton of video games, and it sucks now living in Japan, just kind of like being one of my only friends. One of my only friends. The fuck does that mean?
You're alone now.
Basically,
that's what it means.
No one I know plays video games here, except for my friends play Pro Evolution Soccer. That's the only fucking game they play. Like, it bothers me to no end. But whatever. I have no one to play games with anymore. And so, like, I was just thinking, after I talked with my brother, I was kind of thinking back to, like, the good old days when we both lived in Chicago and just we played so many fucking games together on the couch. Not multiplayer, not online, none of that stuff. Just proper couch co-op.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. So I started thinking about, like, there were some games that I played with my brother that I don't think would have impacted me the same way if I would have played them by myself. And, you know, I just think some games are just... And this could go... It just really depends. Like, some games are co-op games, like a Gears of War or anything like that. Or a single-player game that is just meant to have the controller passed between a couple people.
Right.
And so I just wanted to kind of talk about couch co-op games and your best memories about those types of games, whether that be, you know, playing a Gears of War with your friend or simply passing the controller back and forth trying to beat a really hard game. So, yeah, I was just kind of waxing nostalgic about that type of stuff with my brother. So, Vin, how about you? How about some couch co-op experiences or memories that you've had?
Yeah, it's sort of a two-part question, but like some games, obviously, if some games are designed to be single-player games, which you can play in co-op, like physical two-player games. But if you're talking about like passing the controller between each other, I have to mention Final Fantasy VII. Like Final Fantasy VII.
That's an interesting one. I did not see you turning that corner.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy IX specifically is my favorite Final Fantasy, and that is like if I play that game by myself, I love it. It's a perfect game for yourself, sort of thing. But playing Final Fantasy VII with my cousin when I was a kid, not when I was a wee lad back in '97 when it came out or whatever. Yeah, we were just passing that controller between the two of us, and we played through it for like 150 hours or something ridiculous, like trying to get all the chocobos, like trying to get all the high scores in the fucking golden compass, the golden saucer or whatever it was. Just yeah, I mean, it just days and days and days. But we had a great time together, sort of thing. Like if you're playing like a Final Fantasy game with someone for a while, you sort of get that, when you get to that point where you learn how long it takes them to read.
That is a very nuanced, yeah.
It's like,
but like the second you finish
feel
it,
yeah,
I know
like,
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you're just like clicking through these conversations, and like you at the same time and shit. Because like back then there was no voice acting and stuff, so yeah, just specifically Final Fantasy VII sticks in my memory. Just I remember
that's an interesting one. Like that's a perfect example of not a 2-player game, but it's just your experience of
exactly. But the thing was, like,
passing the controller off.
A few years after that, I tried to play Final Fantasy VII by myself, and it was a completely different game. I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't nearly as good as like, oh, maybe we should try that, because this is like back before the internet and shit. Like we didn't have a guide. We were just constantly like trying to figure out stuff together. We were bouncing off each other, like, oh, what if we do this? Oh, what if we go over there? What if we do this? What if we do that? I'll be cool if we could do this. Like that sort of conversation. We've sort of lost that in video games these days. I sort of feel because if you've got that question for yourself, you can just Wikipedia it. There you go. You got the answer in 5 seconds. Like you don't even have to try it out. But back then you had to explore and try it out and see if it was actually there and stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of that when I was playing Final Fantasy VII for the first time with my cousin Mark. Good times, good old Mark. It was fun.
Good old Mark.
Good old Mark.
Final Fantasy VII.
How about you?
That sounds cool. It just sounds cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's got
them
stories, Like specifically though, like what is your story of a couch co-op game?
So this is pretty much like this is not too long ago. This isn't anything like way back when I was a kid, but this is all just because I thought of this topic recently when I was thinking about my brother and I playing games together. This is like 2008, 2009. When he bought Braid, the game Braid on Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Arcade or whatever. This is
XBLA.
The first time I thought like, oh, like seriously, this might have been that was probably the first time I was like, oh, you can fucking like buy a game online and download it,
right?
Like type deal.
I think a lot of people forget that was last generation that happened. That wasn't even that wasn't like years and years and years ago. That was last gen that happened.
And the idea that someone could make a not legitimate, but like a proper fucking video game,
right? A meaningful game that was just
solely digitally.
Right.
On like the Xbox platform, and you download it and pay money for it, like that was a foreign concept to me, at least at that time,
Yeah.
And so like my brother bought Braid. We didn't know anything about like that. That was like probably the first digital only game that I had ever played at that point. And Braid is, it's such a head scratcher of a game where it really, really helps to have people around you, because you're so focused on one part of solving a puzzle where you need to step back or have someone next to you be like, oh, how about you do this? It's like, oh shit, I never really thought about that. So we're playing, well, number one, we were fucking blown away by this game. Like, this game, we downloaded this game from the internet. This is awesome. Like, This seems like this game should have a nice box. Like, I should have gone to GameStop to buy this box type of thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day when GameStop was relevant. But we played that game together, and it was one of those things where you just get stuck on a puzzle and you can't look around it and then you pass the controller over, and it's like the person was looking at the puzzle from a different angle. It's like, oh shit, so my brother and I like worked our way through Braid, and it was just a really, really cool thing. So that's like a puzzle game where it does help to have a couple minds looking at a problem, just to solve it in terms of efficiency. Like you tend to figure that stuff out with the more people that are in the room looking at the same problem. But in terms of difficulty, one of the best games I ever played with my brother was Super Meat Boy.
Oh, nice.
That game is so fucking hard. Not the first couple levels, but like this is one of those games like we couldn't believe like this is a legitimate title like released on Xbox Live, like all that type of stuff.
Oh, did you do did you do it the proper couch co-op way where every time you died you passed the controller along?
No, so the reason that we didn't, like, every time, number one, that would have wasted so much time passing the controller, like every single fucking time.
But you die like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we would have wasted so much time. And one important thing about Super Meat Boy is it takes like 30 deaths for one person to get the feel of a level. So you can't, once you pass the controller, you lose that fucking muscle memory of the level. So once someone's getting into the groove of like, okay, he's reached this part, he's died here like 15 times, but before that he could only get to this point, and he died 30 times, but every single death he's getting closer and closer to beating the level type of thing. So it's like, I'll give him there's room. But when you see the look in their eyes, like, they're, when like you play a level for so long, like you start to get worse at it.
Yeah.
That's when you pass the controller.
Yeah.
So like when my brother was just like, you were like, you used to get 98% through this level. Now you're like 10%. You keep like, give me the fucking controller. You're done. You're toast. And so like, I just love that. And we played it through the entire game together. And actually, because I live close to him, there were points where like we were both busy with work, so like we couldn't play it. He wouldn't touch the game. And so during the weekend I'd come back over and we'd pick it back up and play through it. Sad to say, we beat the game. Oh no, we didn't beat the game. We got like almost every level A+, where you have to beat the level in a certain amount of time.
Yeah. And
just it's like blood, sweat, and tears with that game, but we never fucking beat it. We got to the last level, we never fucking beat it, and I eventually moved to Japan from Chicago, and that was the end of that. Another noteworthy game is Hotline Miami, which is another hard game to where like...
Yeah, pretty similar experience, all right, I bet.
Yeah, you die... Like, Super Meat Boy perfected the idea of the second you die, you start back. There's no loading time. There's no punishment for dying other than you start the level over. So
yeah,
you don't feel like... It doesn't give you that time to think about whether or not you should put the controller down. It just cuts to the start of the level and it's like, okay, I'm going to play this again type of thing. So my brother and I played through Hotline Miami in almost the exact same fashion where you die. It's like, all right, I'm starting to get really fucking bad at this level. Pass the controller, the other person figures it out, and you move from there. And it was just a great couch co-op experience to where like okay, so I once I got my PS4 Pro, I had already like downloaded Super Meat Boy as a free, PlayStation Plus game a couple months beforehand.
Yeah.
So I started playing through it again by myself, and it just wasn't the same.
It's not the same.
It wasn't the same at all, yeah.
But I'd be curious, like, if you played that game by yourself originally and then you played it couch co-op afterwards, like, how would you feel about the game either way then? Like, was it because, like, the first time you played it was in couch co-op that made it special, or was it the other way around? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and actually, I have a good example of that. Technically, I beat Hotline Miami by myself in Japan.
Yeah.
And then my brother came to visit in Japan, and he had never even heard of Hotline Miami. And so I was like, you got to fucking play this game. And then we sat down and we played through the game. So that experience was positive all the way through. Like, I had a great time playing Hotline Miami by myself. Fucking frustrating game, but you figure it out. And then playing with my brother made it even better.
Mm-hmm.
But with Super Meat Boy, I don't know, because that game is way harder than Hotline Miami, and I don't know if I would have even gotten through Like, I never even beat it with my brother, let alone myself, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know if I would have even gotten that far in Super Meat Boy. So I guess it really depends on the game. Like, I don't know, but like, Another game I will just quickly mention is Gears of War 2. Like, I sat down and played that game. I didn't even play Gears of War 1. I never had an Xbox. My brother had Xbox 360. So we sat down and played Gears of War 2 from start to finish with my brother. And it's just one of those perfect co-op games.
Yeah. The only thing about Gears of War, I mean, I think I played Gears of War 2 with someone. So, like, we played it in split screen sort of thing. So I'm not sure, like, how it would have been if I played that couch co-op instead, played it full screen and then, like, passed
Sure.
or, whatever. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. And one reason I was thinking about these types of things is because since moving to Japan, like, it sounds so sad, right? But, like, I've just never had that been able to do couch co-op because, like, no one I know in Japan fucking plays video games.
I mean, that is one of the biggest misconceptions about Japan, like, I've ever come across so far.
Dude, no one I fucking know plays video games. Like, I mean, 0 people.
No one. It's sort of like stigmatized almost, like, oh, you play games? Oh, okay, you're one of those people, are you? Like, you're sort of automatically subcategorized as one of them type of people, quote unquote.
Yeah. It's not like you get off the fucking plane and you're walking on the stairs and, like, the guy that, like, waved the plane in, he's got, like, a fucking Vita. He's, like, playing on the side. Like, oh, yeah, everyone in Japan plays video... Like, no one I know plays video games.
Yeah, it's like everyone's got this sort of image of Tokyo being just, like, Akihabara times 1,000 or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. Like, it's really not like that. Like, a lot of people do not play games. Like, people play games on their cell phones.
Everyone fucking plays on their smartphone, yeah.
Yeah, that's different. Like, they're not considered the same thing. They're train games, But, yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
but I do have to.
It just sucks. It's like it seems it's just like a thing that has passed for me, even though it's like recent memory playing these games with my brother.
Yeah, but like before we wrap up, I do have to give a shout out to a game which that could be played single player, and it normally was played single player by most people, and I think the reviewers played it single player as well. But Army of Two, I don't know if you've ever played this game.
Oh yeah, I played actually with my brother during that time that I lived in Chicago with him. We played a big chunk of one of the games. I believe it was the first one.
They're pretty much the same game either way. But I remember the reviewers just absolutely trashing this game, and I was like, oh man. And then like my housemate brought it home and he was like, oh, I bought this game Army of Two, you played it? I was like, oh Jesus, all right, stick it in, let's see how bad this is. And we had a great time. It was absolutely hilarious. Like, you could high five each other, you could, like, hit each other when they, like, you were screwing up. Like, what are you doing? Like, perhaps, bro. Like the stupid little, fist bumps and stuff that they did. And it was like a proper bro-tastic game. And
it was very bro. This was at the height of broism.
Yeah, exactly right. But the game as a co-op game, like split screen, was absolutely it was absolutely awesome. I mean, the fact that you could like pull aggro on like a group of enemies, like your teammate.
That was one of my
around.
favorite parts about that game, Vin.
Yeah,
was like there's a guy that you can't hit. It's like, all right, you shoot at him, so he
like focuses attention on you.
He focuses attention on you. I'll go around him and take him out.
Exactly.
Like, I love that mechanic. It was so cool.
It was perfect. Like that loop, like playing together. Like once you got into the habit of it, it was great, and it was such a great game. And then I went and watched the reviews, and like, oh, this is awful. It's like 6 out of 10, like 7 out of 10s. I'm like, what? Really? Okay, this is weird. Like, I don't know why these people hate it so much. And then I went to play it again. It must have been about a year later or something. I went to play it again by myself in single player, and it was just fucking horrendous.
This game fucking sucks.
It's so bad. I was like, oh my god, what is my AI? Dude, where you going, dude? And he's like dead on the floor. He's like, I need your help, man. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And stuff.
Yeah, and actually, Vin and I don't like talk about what we're going to talk about on the show just so that we have natural, reactions to stuff. But yeah, like, Vin, that's a game that I totally forgot that actually... among Braid and Super Meat Boy and Gears of War, like, yeah, we actually played that first game, and we had that experience with the game where it's just one of those experiences, like playing with a friend can turn like a game that's 5 out of 10 into like an 8 out of 10.
Easy.
Just because you have that couch co-op experience.
And I would say, if you're going to play Army of Two, if you don't play with a friend, don't fucking play it, period. Just don't play it.
Okay, yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. There are those games as well, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have the... I didn't ever play the sequel, but it was a bit.
I heard bad things about it.
Yeah.
40th hour.
Whether it was like Army of 2-2 or something. Army of 2-2. It's like these guys in like leotards or something. But
how do they not just do Army of 3? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if the game mechanics are any good in that game though. In the sequel.
It's just like high chest high walls and shooting. I don't know. I don't know what they did. I didn't play it.
Anyway, yeah, we should move on anyway. Moving on, we're going to be talking about big deal, small iteration. Basically, we're going to talk about, as a series in progress, devs tinker, the base concepts and iterate and improve on games all the time. But most of them seem sort of insignificant, especially with these smaller iterations. I mean, you look at games like Uncharted 2 or whatever, where it's very much like the first one. You don't really notice the iteration whatsoever. But we're going to talk about games which had a significant iteration in them, So, Evan, what game do you want to talk about? I introduced that absolutely fucking terribly, actually. So let's
just don't read while you explain.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Well, you're better at the intro than I am. That's for certain.
You're better. Yeah, you're better at the topics than I am. I haven't done it in a while, so that's why.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So I think I'll jump from a game to a game. Notably, Resident Evil 4, where that game revolutionized the third person over the right shoulder shooter. Like, that was the first game to do that.
Yeah.
But like, you couldn't fucking move and shoot at the same time.
Killed the game. Killed it. I mean, yeah. I couldn't play the game
for you
because of
that. You never played it during you never played it when it first came out. When that game first came out, like, there was no game that ever had an over the right shoulder shooting mechanic. Like, it was I couldn't fucking believe it when that game
I
came
remember
out.
when the magazine came out and they were like they set up. It was like a screenshot of the game, and then they set up like the composition, like rule of thirds. I mean, if you're into art and stuff, then you know what it means. Where like you split the screen up into 3, but like on one of the lines of the rule of thirds, like it's basic composition. Like they had the character there, and like okay, and then the rest of the screen, so it looks like aesthetically pleasing and all that sort of stuff. To an artist, it's like obviously, duh. But like to everyone else, like it was totally a new concept to them. And it completely
and to actually make
game.
It work.
And it completely changed the game.
And like make it work in terms of controls and all that type of thing.
Yeah, and I bought it on the GameCube when it first came out. I think it was on the GameCube first. PS2.
Yeah,
GameCube?
it was one of the Capcom 4 or 5 or whatever, those games that were supposed to be solely made for the GameCube, right? Right. And then all those games like subsequently
eventually came out to others anyway.
Systems,
typical, right? But yeah, I was playing the game and I got about an hour into it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But then I think I might have got my Xbox 360 like pretty soon after that. So it's like the GameCube was thrown off into the distance sort of thing. Like, no more. Who cares?
Just grab that handle, fucking toss it out the window, huh?
Yep, then I played Dead Space and then I tried to go back to Resident Evil 4 and I couldn't play it because you can't walk and shoot at the same time. It just completely kills the game. Completely. Because I played Dead Space and the whole time I was playing it, I was thinking, it sort of reminds me of Resident Evil 4. I might go and play that again. And I was like, oh, nope, can't do it. Jesus. Yeah, couldn't play it.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, so let's talk about big deal, small iteration, like moving while you're shooting. Okay, I know it sounds no fucking duh, right? But once you had a game like Dead Space that decided to allow you to move while you shot, was a massive fucking deal, and it actually
changed the game a lot.
It changed the game a lot.
Yeah, it really does.
And so yeah, that was one that jumped out at me. And then actually in the same wheelhouse, I've talked about it a bunch on this podcast, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Basically, it furthers the over-the-right shoulder, third-person shooting type of game. But, in terms like of the Resident Evil games up until 7.
Mm-hmm.
But in that game, there's a dedicated dodge button, which has never been in any fucking Resident Evil game. To where if you're tuned into the attack frames of the enemy, like in most games, like if you if you missed your shot or you did something wrong, like you're fucked. You're gonna get hit by you're that guy swinging a fucking sickle at you.
Right.
But in this game, like if you knew the frames, like you could just hit circle and dodge. And it was like it just changed. It made the game that much more dynamic to where when you're handling a giant group of enemies coming to attack you, like yeah, you have to watch out for reloading. You have to check your ammo. You have to climb ladders, jump off of buildings, kind of use the environment to gain time and make sure the enemies don't kind of push you into a corner type of thing. But even if they did in this game, like if you timed it well enough, you could press circle and dodge out of it, and it made the game so much more dynamic. It was like the dodge mechanic was the move while shooting.
Yeah. I mean, it's
for me for that series.
Yeah, it's crazy how like one little thing can completely change the game. It's like
it's like I never even really thought like that was a thing. And then when I'm playing the game, it's like it was like the old who's the guy that Steve Jobs? Who's the guy? The Apple guy. That one guy, Vin. Come on, help me out. Steve Jobs, like one of his things was like you have to don't create something that people are like. This is a terrible paraphrasing, by the way. That
butcher it. Go
looking
for
it. Make something that they don't know that they want. Type of thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing this game, and then all of a sudden there's a dodge mechanic. I'm like, I didn't know I want that, and now I cannot live without it. Yeah. That type of thing. Such a like one single button.
Yeah, it's kind of
small iteration.
I mean, we were joking about it before, but Zelda. The fact that we got a dedicated jump button in the new one.
Oh God!
In Breath of the Wild, like that's like it sounds absolutely ridiculous. It's like really like, and even if you talk to like a Zelda, like a casual fan or whatever, it's like, oh, you can jump in every Zelda game, right? And like, yeah, probably like all the 3D ones, right? Like they don't even know because they don't even think about it. But no, you couldn't.
Right.
You couldn't jump in them games.
But and then the thing about being able to jump in Zelda now means that, or if you realize like. The people that designed all the dungeons and all the 3D Zeldas, Link could only jump if you walked off a ledge. So knowing how he moves, they designed dungeons around that, right?
Yep.
So the idea that he can jump now totally changes how they probably designed, they designed dungeons, because before it was like, there's a ledge. I can't jump up to it, so I got to figure out a puzzle to be able to get up there. Yep. But now it's like, well, Link can easily jump up there, so that puzzle is irrelevant now.
It reminds me actually of when Final Fantasy 14 first came out, the MMO, when version 1.0 came out, the vanilla version, and it was fucking atrocious.
The fucking
the awful version.
I never played it, but I heard terrible.
Yeah, I played it for about a day, and I was like, yeah, no, this game is not done whatsoever. And I remember game trailers gave it like a 3 out of 10 or something at the time.
Wow.
I was like, oh shit, that's pretty bad, boys. Like, you better go and fix this. But you couldn't jump in that version, and it was an MMO, and like you're asking people to switch from World of Warcraft, where they've been able to jump everywhere, to this game where there's like knee-high fences everywhere which you can't jump over and you have to walk around them, and so I was like, oh, it's atrocious.
That is shit.
Yeah, but like in the new version, like the 1.1 version or whatever, they put in the old jump button, but yeah, it totally changed the game. So it made it more like an MMO. It's such a small, stupid thing.
Yeah, it seems so silly, but it makes... Like, that's the difference between a good and a bad game, potentially.
Yeah, because like if you're playing an MMO or something, and this sounds ridiculous, and every MMO fan will know exactly what I'm talking about, but like if you're playing with a friend or whatever, it's like, oh, I'm online now. It's like, all right, yeah, come and meet me. I'm over at the falls or whatever, wherever you are in whatever game. It's like, yeah, no worries. And then you come over. When you first meet each other, instinctively you will start hopping around like a bunch of fucking idiots. I don't know why. Right. Everyone does it, and I just don't know, but it's like we just instantly like, hey, like you're tapping the button or what, or you got to do like a stupid thing. Like in Final Fantasy 14, you run up to each other, you're like, nothing. It's like, oh, it's awful. You just couldn't do it. So yeah, even the small things, man. It's the tiny things. But like for me, I think for sequel iterations, the biggest. Like when we're talking about good iterations anyway, the biggest thing which I've noticed over the last few years was probably in Assassin's Creed. Oh
my gosh, yeah.
I mean,
they've made so many little iterations.
There's a lot of iterations, but biggest one for me was the naval combat, which they pushed in for. I think it was in the third one. They first.
I remember that when they first revealed that, everyone was going nuts.
Yeah, they introduced it, and like
E3.
in three, it was all right. You know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. You know, it was definitely interesting. It was like, fucking all right, this is. I wasn't expecting this, but this is pretty cool. You know, you can sail from Boston over to New York or whatever. This is pretty cool. But then when Assassin's Creed 4 came out, it just completely changed the game, and the naval combat completely made that game. And like you're on your ship, which you've like sort of custom built up, and all your dudes are singing fucking crazy old songs and stuff, and it's like, all right, and then you spot a ship over to, all right, let's flank around.
What they call them, sea shanties.
Yeah,
right?
the sea shanties, right? And there's a whole album of those as well, so you can go and listen to all those. They're fucking great as well. And you know all the words to every single one of them by the end of the game, because like you just and like it completely and you sort of forget that you're playing an Assassin's Creed game, you know. And
it's true. That's true. Yeah, at some points
it just completely changed the game. And I know Rogue came out, and Rogue had like an improved naval combat, but I think that's what did most of the damage for Unity for me personally. It wasn't because the game was buggy or whatever. Like I didn't run into that many bugs or whatever, but the missing naval combat just completely killed Unity for me. Completely. It just felt like half a game after that. I was like, oh, you know, I kind of missed the boats. You know, I want the boats back. So it's sort of a good example of how you can. It's not really a small iteration. It's a huge feature, but it's an iteration nonetheless. But when they take that out, you know, you notice like how much it actually detriments the game as well, especially in the series.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is definitely a good point.
But yeah, I mean, we've had just loads of them. I mean, just the small thing like in a Metal Gear Solid 2, the first time you could aim down sights, you know? Like,
oh, sure, yeah. I mean, and actually,
huge.
Going back, that's a very interesting iteration in and of itself, because when they made the Twin Snakes for the GameCube,
yeah, they put it back in.
They added in the first-person shooting back into Metal Gear
broke the game.
Solid 1. It broke the game.
Completely, yeah.
So that's like that's like an iteration that backfired, I guess.
Yeah, like when you
try to implement a new thing. Just imagine if you could walk in Resident Evil 4 while you shot. Maybe that breaks the game. Maybe it makes it too easy.
You know, it probably
knows,
would.
You know?
It probably would. It would not surprise me actually, because you could just walk backwards and pop away, sort of thing, instead of having to run away, do the old like spin 180, like aim down sight and pop, and run away again and do the same thing. Like instead of just walking backwards and popping the guys, you know, it might completely break the game.
Right, that is funny.
But like I remember playing Metal Gear Solid 1 Twin Snakes on the GameCube and just going into, you know, the first section where you come out of the water after the intro sequence. I can't remember what you call it, like the storage area, the harbor or whatever.
Right.
And you were like in the original, you had to sort of sneak along and say, "Oh, I see a guy come look at the little radar and stuff." But in the GameCube, like they give you a tranquilizer right off the dot, I think. And
so can you just shoot him at
right, exactly.
angles they can't see?
So you just like you come up to the first corner, you just like aim down. It's like, all right, that dude's gone. Like you go down to the next aisle and take him out, and then that's it. It's done.
Right, the initial area that was there to teach you,
right, like the tutorial
how to play the game. Yeah, that was the tutorial of the game.
Breaks the tutorial.
What a genius tutorial! How to fit that in a game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But it just basically broke the tutorial of the game. Like, no, you can fucking cheat this.
And
game.
like, as from like a games development point of view, I know full well they probably use that opening area as all of their test beds for the AI, for the lean-in system. So because all it is basically just a square room with crates in it, and them crates were probably just like prefab cubes or whatever in whatever.
Right? Didn't they build
engine.
that shit with Legos?
Oh yeah, like Kojima's way into
I heard
Legos.
a story.
No,
yeah,
that's completely
when they were
legit.
designing stuff.
Yeah, they did it for Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. I think they upgraded for Metal Gear Solid 3 because you got jungles everywhere. But you're fucking making a jungle out of Lego, really? That's ridiculous.
That,
yeah. So, but yeah, I could totally see why they had the area in there. But yeah, the iteration completely killed that, unfortunately. But
all right. That's that first person deal in 2 did fucking change. I mean, at the time it blew people's minds that you could do that.
Yeah, aim it down sight, and you could aim at a specific point at someone's body. Like
yeah,
that was because that was what I think that was a release title as well on the PS2. maybe. Well, it's really
there's
early.
so many things about that demo even where you were in the kitchen and you shot the flour and like flour pour. There's like it's just basically just a shitty animation of like white powder coming out of the flour. But back then it was absolutely amazing. Like I can shoot every ketchup bottle in this kitchen.
The best thing about that kitchen,
fucking amazing.
The best thing about that kitchen, like a lot of people didn't even notice this, but I did, and I'm sure you did as well, because you're sort of like me.
You probably know more than
like
I do.
You test this sort of shit out. You're like me, but like if you shoot the individual pans that are hanging, like they all make different noises.
Okay.
And it was just
I did not know that.
That's insane.
Of course.
There's people on like YouTube that have made songs and shit, firing a tranquilizer gun.
Of course.
It's ridiculous.
Like, I mean, if you can beat Final Fantasy 1 with 4 white mages, of course people are going to make that video on YouTube.
If you can beat Final Fantasy 1 with 4 white mages, you need a job, period. Like, I'm sorry. It's like that dude that finished Final Fantasy 9 at level 1. It's like, get a job, dude. Job or wife or anything.
Just play more games. Just play more games. There's so many games you could be playing instead of perfecting.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
How much? What time are we at?
15 minutes. Yeah, we can wrap this up actually. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. So, at the end, the whole reason that I actually thought about this topic is. Okay, in Yakuza 6. All right,
Jesus Christ! Can you just? I'm gonna ban this series off the podcast soon. Just so you know.
Okay, so let me talk about this in the most basic form. In Yakuza 0, you have the whole money thing. So, when you fight, you earn money. When you beat chapters, you earn money. That type of thing. But in all the other games, like you have an XP meter, and when you fill out your XP meter, you get an ability point, which you're able to put into a certain skill. And then the further along you get in the game, like more skills, like you need 3 ability points to get the skill, whether it be attack, defense, health, that type of thing. The interesting thing but like when in those other games, like when you did things like played old Sega games, like you can play Outrun, you can play Space Harrier, you can use fucking UFO catchers. You can play darts. You can play pool. You can eat. You can eat at like real restaurants in Japan. They exist actually in Japan. All it does is gain health, right? Or if you want to go to a fucking bar and do karaoke, you can do that. It's not going to award you anything, but you can do it. I guess it awards you CP points, but I'm not going to fucking go into that. But in Yakuza 6, one thing they do is they throw all that shit out the window. So now there are 4 main things that you can get experience in. And I don't know the names of all of them, but I'm just going to color code them. It's red, blue, yellow, green, and purple.
Okay.
And depending on the things that you do in the game, it'll net you certain XP within those 5 colors. So for example, like if you want to upgrade your overall health, you need XP in blue and red. Or if you want to upgrade your defense, you need XP in green and purple. And to learn new moves, certain moves like you'll need XP in one of those, or a handful of those colors, or all of those colors, or one of those colors, or 2 of those colors. And the cool thing is like no matter what you do in that game, like where in the other games like karaoke or all that stuff, it didn't matter. You could just do it if you wanted to. But in Yakuza 6, everything you do nets you a certain amount of XP in one of those colors. So let's just say, okay, so for example, at the end of the game, I had 9,999 like blue, orange, and red XP. I didn't need any more of that. But one thing I did need was green and purple XP. And the only way you can get that is by like going to certain restaurants and eating certain food, or going to karaoke,
right,
or going to the hostess bar and doing that type of thing. So what the game does very cleverly is like it pushes you to do specific things in the game in order to get XP in those certain areas, to where like in the other game it's like you didn't need to ever do karaoke. You could totally pass it over. You didn't need to eat at this restaurant. You didn't need it to this. But it's like, okay, I need green XP. I have to go to the sushi place and I have to order this specific food. and then I get the XP. Then I'm going to go to karaoke. I'm going to sing 5 songs because I get a lot of XP in green
Sounds so
and purple.
ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I have to go here, and then like this will net me purple XP and red XP. So what the game does is like it spreads out the things that you need to do, and or like go training. You can go weight training, and when you weight train, you can choose like what color. Like if you want to do dumbbells or you want to like work on your legs and stuff, each of those things are a different color XP. So it forces you to do every side quest and every single type of thing you can do in the game, because each certain thing will net you a specific colored XP that will ultimately, like you're able to upgrade yourself. So just moving from, you can do this if you want to, I will force you to do everything if you want to upgrade, all your stats.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a great way to push you forward in that game, to where there's a lot of things I did in that game where I never would have done it, but it pushed me to do it because I needed the XP to do so. So I think it was just really, really smart.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, I'll make this one real quick, but in Skyrim, if you like compared to Oblivion, it was very traditional. Like if you have to sort of gain experience in very specific ways. Like you level up, you get a skill point, you assign that skill point to whatever you want to level up. So if you want to have better archery, then you have to put in your skill point to the archery stat, right?
Okay.
But in Skyrim, you basically gain experience on absolutely everything that you do, and it's all based on actions rather than what you assign skill points to. So if you use your bow, like you'll level up your bow. Period.
Okay.
Like if you wear heavy armor and you're getting hit, like you'll level up your heavy armor. So like sort of organically, you'll level up absolutely everything that you use, that you want to use. But at the same time, it's got the opposite problem where, like if you suddenly put on some light armor, like it will start leveling it up automatically, but it's back down to like, oh, you're not really skilled in this, so you're sort of screwed. So yeah, it's interesting in them small iterations.
So you like if you want to upgrade something, you have to use it actively.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't.
I mean, that's also cool. It's a kind of
you can't hoard skill points sort of thing. That's what you would do in Oblivion almost. Like you would hoard like 10 skill points and assign them all to like, I might try out like two-handed swords or whatever. It's like, okay, like just bang in 10 skill points to that whatever skill you want to like try out, and then you can play it at like full capacity. But in Skyrim, it doesn't matter like how good the sword is that you find, you have to learn it, which is good in that respect. But it's very intuitive, you don't really need to think about that stuff, which sort of kills the whole assigning stats and looking at more bars and meters and stuff. So it's quite nice in that respect too.
Sure. Yeah, and then like that's another like that's cool, like, and that's one reason why I do like Yakuza 6, where let's just say you want to upgrade a skill that requires 300 XP across all colors, right? Well, like if you have enough in like red, blue, and yellow and purple, but you don't have 300 XP in green, you have to go out and do something that will net you green XP. Otherwise, you'll never upgrade that thing. So it's just pushing you to go outside of your zone to do something. It's a very clever way of getting you to do a lot of shit in that game. Best thing about that is everything in that game is fun 100% of the time.
That's good. I mean, if like there was anything that was even 75% fun, like that would break.
It would have been a fucking like fuck you for making me do this. But no, I seriously, I have never had a minute of
not fun.
frustration with like Yakuza 7. What the fuck am I talking about? I just want another Yakuza game, I guess.
Too far in the future, dude. Too far.
Yeah, too far in the future. Like,
slow down.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, I'm so in the future. All right, that's enough of that. No, it's just, the fuck am I going with that? No, it's a game, like, it's one of those games where, like, I've had a 100% fun 100% of the time. And, that's partly because of that, that really small iteration to where they just spread out the experience between a lot of shit and force you to do things. But it's fun. Yeah, it's not fucking tedious bullshit.
Cool. So we should wrap up, coming up to the end of the podcast. So just say a massive thank you to everyone that's tuned in, listened to us again. We're sorry again for the delays and all that sort of stuff, but we'll try and get back on track with all these crazy time zones and stuff like that. We could not get any further away from each other at this point. Like if I go left or right, like I I'd probably start getting closer to Evan. You know, like it doesn't get any like further away.
Yeah,
much.
yeah, exactly.
So it sucks, but you know, it is what it is, and we'll work around it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, do you want to close off with any goodbyes or any sign-offs that you got, man?
Oh yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been a rocky 2017, but we'll be shooting these episodes out. And what is this, episode 34? So we got plenty of time before episode 52, which would technically be 52 weeks, which would be a year. But we'll plan something special for that. Yeah. Just listen to us at least until then,
please.
If you're if you're ready to jump off the fucking yeah. But thanks for listening. You can catch me at the Stand User on Twitter, Giant Bomb and Sifted. And Vin, how about yourself?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I am at Vin Hill Art. You can find some of me and of my finger paintings on there and some of my crazy wild opinions. And I've just started working on a new project, which you might see floating around on my Twitter. Actually, I'm going to retweet some stuff for that. So keep an eye out for that stuff if you're into games development and all that sort of stuff. But other than that, I want to say massive thank you for tuning in once again. And if you do want to be on the podcast, if you want to join us as one of our guests, and all you have to do is message either Evan on Sifted. You can find him at the Stand User, as you said a moment ago, or you can find us on Twitter. We also have a Twitter for the podcast dedicated, which is at podcast_reload. You can find us on there. Our latest episode is always pinned to the top, so come on, give us a follow, give us a like, whatever, and you'll keep up to date with us there. If you do want to join us, just let us know what mic you've got, where you are in the world, and when you can come on. Other than that, you don't need any other crazy recording software. We're pretty easygoing guys. We have a bit of a pre-show to hang out and get used to each other. So, yeah, I think everyone that we've had on so far has been pretty fun. Everyone's had fun, so come and join us, please. It'd be great. So, yeah, anything else to add to that, dude?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So until next time, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you later. So ta-ta.